This quarterback situation just keeps getting crazier. And if you're a Browns fan, you already know nothing ever comes easy around here. There's a lot happening behind the scenes, a lot of questions still unanswered, and one decision could completely change the direction of this season. If you're ready to see how this plays out, hit that like button and drop "Go Browns" in the comments. The Browns' decision to start Deshaun Watson against Jacksonville is raising one huge question in Cleveland. How much of this choice really belongs to Todd Monken, and how much of it came from higher up in the organization? Monken gave an answer that deserves a lot more attention because he made it clear this was not simply a head coach making a decision alone. He described major decisions like this as organizational decisions, explaining that while he ultimately has to make the call, conversations took place throughout the organization before Cleveland settled on Watson as the starter. That immediately puts Jimmy Haslam and the front office into the discussion. There is no confirmation that Haslam ordered Monken to start Watson, but the circumstances naturally create questions. Cleveland still has the weight of Watson's $230 million guaranteed contract hanging over the franchise, and the Browns have invested too much into that situation to ignore what could be one final opportunity to see whether anything can still be recovered from it. Adam Schefter's assessment was that Cleveland remains tied to Watson because of the money involved, and whether fans agree with that reasoning or not, the financial reality clearly cannot be separated from this conversation. But Monken also gave football reasons for the decision, and this is where the story becomes much more interesting. He said the Browns evaluated the complete body of work, from the off-season through training camp, the games and joint practices, before deciding Watson gave Cleveland the best opportunity to move the football and score points to begin the season. Monken also pointed specifically to the challenge of opening on the road. Communication, operation, and the silent cadence were among the factors he considered, with Watson's veteran experience apparently giving him an advantage in that environment. That does not mean Monken suggested the decision was easy. In fact, everything surrounding this quarterback competition indicates it was close, and that is exactly why the reaction from Browns fans has been so intense. Shedeur Sanders has created legitimate excitement. According to the camp numbers cited by ESPN Cleveland in the report, Sanders finished with a 19-4 touchdown-to-interception ratio, while Watson was at 24 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Those numbers alone do not tell the entire story of a quarterback competition, but they help explain why so many people watching this battle came away believing Sanders had done enough to make the decision extremely difficult. And there may be another layer to Cleveland's thinking: the order in which these quarterbacks can realistically be played. Starting Watson first leaves the Browns with the option of eventually turning to Sanders. Doing it in reverse would be far more complicated. If Sanders opened the season, played well enough to capture the support of the fan base, and then got benched for Watson, the backlash would be enormous. Starting with Watson gives Cleveland a chance to find out immediately whether Monken can get something more from him while keeping Sanders available if the offense does not produce. That possibility becomes even more important because Sanders apparently understands that this is a longer process. Mary Kay Cabot reported that Sanders was informed of the decision, and Monken said the rookie handled the news well and had a smile on his face. That reaction matters. It suggests Sanders is not treating Week 1 as the final verdict on his future. He can continue developing, prepare behind the starter, and remain ready if Cleveland eventually decides it is time to make the change. There is also a brutal reality surrounding Watson. This may represent the last realistic window for the Browns to start him. Cleveland begins with road games, which reduces the immediate pressure of putting Watson in front of a home crowd that clearly has strong feelings about the quarterback situation. If the Browns are ever going to determine whether there is anything left to salvage, this gives them an opportunity to do it before potentially moving in another direction. What does not appear convincing is the idea that Cleveland is intentionally starting Watson simply to tank for Arch Manning. The report strongly rejected that theory and pointed to Schefter, saying the Browns are trying to win now. Cleveland does have 2 first-round picks in 2027, and the Manning discussion will continue if Arch Manning develops into the type of prospect people expect. But there is no evidence presented here that the Browns are deliberately sacrificing this season to position themselves for him. So the Watson decision appears to be a combination of organizational involvement, Monken's belief in the veteran's ability to handle the opening road environment, the financial reality of the contract, and the flexibility Cleveland preserves by keeping Sanders behind him for now. The biggest question is how long that reasoning will survive if the offense struggles, because once Sanders gets his opportunity, there may be no realistic path back. Browns fans, how much of this decision do you believe is really Todd Monken's call? And how much do you think Jimmy Haslam and the Watson contract influenced it? What do you think about the Browns' decision to start Deshaun Watson, and how long should Cleveland stick with him before giving Shedeur Sanders his opportunity? Drop your opinion in the comments, because I want to know exactly where Browns fans stand on this. And if you want the latest Cleveland Browns news, rumors, and updates in one place, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and click the video on your screen right now. The biggest Browns updates first. You'll find them right here.